Welcome back to At Home with Juju, where today we are diving into the fascinating world of Facebook Marketplace. The place where you have some pretty high quality items and then others not so much. Recently, my sister just bought a house and I've been helping her find deals on Facebook Marketplace. And she's been sending me stuff too. And I found myself saying, no, or look for this. Okay, if they do this, that's a red flag. So today, I thought it would be a good idea for us to go over some of the history of Facebook Marketplace and talk about some tips and tricks for finding the absolute best deals. And I said this weekend we were going to do a bathroom makeover, but that didn't go so well. So you got to make sure you turn on your notifications so you can see how that turns out next weekend. And if this is your first time on my channel, my name is Julene and we do tons of secondhand shopping. One of the places that I use the most is Facebook Marketplace. Whether you're looking to furnish your new apartment, score a vintage vinyl, or are just curious about what's in your neighbor's garage, Facebook Marketplace has your back. So buckle up as I take you through this bizarre online world of secondhand furniture and items. And I'll just let you know right now, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. So let's start with a little history. Facebook Marketplace was launched October of 2016. Yes, it was the new kid on the block, coming in hot with a mission to make buying and selling stuff as easy as posting a status update. Initially, it was just a baby limited to the US, Australia, and New Zealand. But fast forward to today, and it's a global sensation. From couches to cars, you can find just about anything in your local area. It's basically the garage sale of the digital age without all the awkward small talk. So now that we got that settled, let's jump into how we actually use Facebook Marketplace. And you would be surprised as to how many people actually don't know how to use it these days. It's simpler than you think. First, you open up Facebook. You don't actually have to have a Facebook active account. Okay, so you need an active account, but recently I deleted my personal Facebook that I've had since high school, and I just made a dummy account so that I could still have access to Facebook Marketplace. I will tell you to be cautious of doing that because the algorithm can think that you're just a bot account and then give you bot listings. So just keep that in mind. You do have to be very active on there to get some quality listings. So first you want to open up your Facebook app and then hit the little Facebook Marketplace icon. It looks like a tiny shop front. Once you're in, you'll see a feed of items available in your area. It's seriously like window shopping from the comfort of your own couch. You can browse by category like apartments, pets, furniture, office supplies, literally almost anything you can think of. Or you can go directly to the search bar and type in exactly what it is that you're looking for. Just write it into the search bar and voila, what you want comes right up. You're on your way to finding a deal of a lifetime. And trust me, there's tons of deals to be found. So if you're interested in something, tap on it to see more details. Check out the pictures, read the description, and see if the seller is willing to negotiate. It's kind of like eBay, but there are much less bidding wars. For example, I'm furnishing my sister's new home and I found a credenza that was pretty much exactly her style. So I had her reach out to him. So he tried to get her to pay closer to $200 and I said, don't do that. He's saying or best offer or making it seem like there's a lot of people interested because he wants to see how high you're willing to go. So instead I said, how high are you willing to go? She said $200 max for this item. So I said, great, why don't you offer him $175 and tell him that's your max? And he accepted it. I believe it was like $170. So that's just a tip for negotiating. A lot of times people will make it seem like the item is much more popular than it actually is just to see how much money you're actually willing to pay. Never ever offer the max amount that you're willing to pay. Always offer, I would say, a good amount below that so that when they come back with a counter, you can meet somewhere in between. So here's another tip. Most people don't realize that you can actually set alerts for items that you're looking for. Just hit the save button on the search results and Facebook will notify you when similar items pop up. It's like having your own personal shopping assistant. Sometimes the best deals are found when you're not being too picky. That's a key thing about searching on Facebook Marketplace. You can't be so set in what you're looking for. You definitely have to be open and willing to get creative in your ultimate design. So if you're looking for a specific brand or you're set on an exact color, you might have trouble using Marketplace. So be open to alternative brands and slightly used items. You can score major savings. Tip number 3, I think this is number 3, is you want to look and see how long the listing has actually been up on Facebook Marketplace. This gives you a lot of leverage as the buyer. If the listing has been up for months, then they might be pretty desperate to sell. Now, you want to be cautious how you approach them. You yourself don't want to look too desperate when you're negotiating. So just keep that in mind when you are approaching a seller. How long has it been up there? Because if it's been up for a long time, they might be willing to drop the price for you just a little bit. So tip number 4 is early bird gets the worm, or should I say the best deals. So not a lot of people are looking at Facebook Marketplace in the early morning. A lot of sellers want to get their things sold, so they tend to be pretty diligent about getting up their listing pretty early on in the day, but a lot of people aren't shopping until after the long day has passed. So if you go on pretty early, you can actually catch the deals before anybody else does. And that's just one thing I've noticed. You definitely want to utilize that tip. And tip number 5, don't be afraid to negotiate. I definitely explained this a little bit earlier. Sellers are actually expecting you to negotiate just a little bit. You don't want to be disrespectful to them and just put some ridiculously low number out there.
How dare you!
You definitely want to respect what they're selling and the seller themselves, but definitely be confident and willing to negotiate what you think the item could be worth. And remember, if the price is too good to be true, it probably is. If you're wondering why I'm sitting on the floor, I just felt like it. Now is the biggie. We're going to talk about how to avoid those pesky scammers, because nobody wants to end up with a fake Chanel bag, a damaged or infested item, or nothing at all. So warning number 1, if the price is too low, it's probably too good to be true. If it's priced unbelievably cheap, it probably is. You definitely want to compare market prices for that item. If the price listed on Facebook Marketplace is significantly lower than what it typically goes for, then I would be cautious. Some scammers really just love to lure you in at a really low price and then pocket that money and then never send you the item. Warning sign number 2 is lack of details. If the picture looks like something they got off of Pinterest or an ad somewhere. Okay, for example, the other day I was looking for a sofa for my sister. There's this beautiful cloud-like couch, super modern, beautiful color, no stains. And it says it's listed locally here in Michigan, but I look in the window of the listing and there's a palm tree. Last time I checked, there weren't any palm trees in Michigan. A lot of times scammers will just take Google photos or Pinterest photos or even photos from other listings and they'll market them as their own. So you want to be careful about that. If the listing is missing clear details or multiple photos, beware.
Run for your life!
Legit sellers are usually more than happy to provide you with ample information. They'll give you all the details they need because they want to make the sale. I also recently found another sofa that looked a little suspect. A lot of times on Facebook Marketplace, you'll see people taking photos of furniture in storage units. So they'll be outside of a storage unit and the furniture piece will be laid out. These are kind of difficult to weed out if they are actually a real listing or are they scammers. So the best thing to always do in these situations is to ask for more photos. This just happened to my sister the other day and I said she also felt like this might be a scam. So I said, hey, why don't you go ahead and ask him if he has more photos? And then under no circumstance will you give him a deposit. Ask him for more photos. Ask him if it comes from a home with pets or smokers. And ask him if you, yeah, I guess that's it. So yes, that leads me into red flag number 3 is payments. If he asks you for a deposit, then it's more than likely a scam. Never, ever give money to Facebook Marketplace sellers before actually seeing the item. It's never worth it. They will pitch to you, oh, I want you to put down a deposit because I have lots of interest. I can't hold it for you. Then you just say, politely, I'm not actually comfortable with putting down money before I see the item. I will just reach out to you on Saturday to see if it's still available. That's how you have to handle it. Just say you'll reach out to them on the next day that you had planned to get it. But that's after you've vetted out all the previous checklists as far as pictures, that it's an actual listing, etc. Be wary of sellers who insist on non-secure payments as well. So, for example, wire transfers or gift cards. So, stick to secure payment methods and meet the seller in person if possible. And you should also bring somebody with you, or at least let someone have your location and let them know who you're going to meet, where, and what time. So, warning number 4 is pay attention to the seller's behavior. If their behavior is unusual or you get any kind of uncomfortability in your body, run. It probably is a suspect seller. Usually sellers try to make you calm, be very open and vulnerable. They're not pressuring you to buy or make any quick, swift decisions. A real seller will take their time to talk it out with you and give you all the information you need. If they're pressuring you at all, don't go for the sale. So warning sign number 5, or I should say my biggest tip, is to check the seller profile. You will be shocked at how many people go to buy an item on Facebook Marketplace without doing this step. If they have 0 reviews, that's a red flag. If they had a Facebook profile that was just made this year, they have no friends and no reviews, more than likely that's a bot or someone trying to scam you. You definitely want to look and see that they have at least one of the 3, but I almost never buy from someone who has no previous sale history and has no reviews. If they have no previous sale history, I'll go and I'll look on their actual Facebook profile. Do they have friends? Do they have a family? I'm basically trying to weed out all the serial killers by doing this step. And that's it on our Facebook Marketplace deep dive. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you learned some good tips to keep you armed with the skills and to avoid any kind of scams on Facebook Marketplace. I really hope you guys find some good deals, and I would love to hear any Facebook Marketplace horror stories that you have and or some good deals. You guys know I like to rave about the deal I found on my mid-century modern unit on Facebook Marketplace, but that's just one of many. I have found quite a bit. It's one of my favorite places to go shopping for deals, and I hope to share that love onto you. Make sure you turn on your notifications so you don't miss next week's bathroom makeover. It'll be either next week or the week after. I have 2 renovations coming up, so one of them will be next weekend. Anyways, I love you all so much, and I will see you next weekend. Bye.